My name is Ron Young from Eagle Communications. Welcome to the podcast. Let me give a little tech tip right now. Internet out of businesses just isn't internet. If it's not working effectively, it's not the right bandwidth, and if you don't have a backup, then you're using the wrong service. There are products out there that will allow testing on your internet modem, like Comcast or Spectrum or AT&T, that if it sees the internet going down, it power cycles that modem and then kicks over to a 4G backup, so you are never down. So while your competition is out of internet because the area has had a failure, you're still up and running and making money. Give Eagle Communications a call for more detail. Okay, today with me, I have Jessica from Reed and Associates. And kind of a little bit of a different thing, but I think it's both of what you and I both do, is we're going to talk about strategies, goals, and plans, and what are the differences.
All
Jessica,
right.
I'm going to let you go.
Thanks. Yeah, Jessica Bryan with Reed and Associates, financial advisor here in Murfreesboro. Um, yeah, excited to be here. I love talking about strategy. It's my favorite thing.
And,
One of
that,
my favorite things.
and that's one of the reasons why I asked you, because hearing some of your conversations, your pitches, and stuff like that, is it fits right in. When you have financial goals, you have to have a plan. Where do you want to be? How do you want to retire? Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
How do you go about that, combining, and we just had this discussion before, combining the three: goals, plans, and strategies, or GPS?
Yeah.
Not the GPS to get and lost, okay?
But it's the GPS to get to where you want to go.
Correct.
Yeah.
So how do you go about that?
I am very values based. I think where strategies go wrong is when they're not founded in someone's personal values. Too often people are trying to create plans or set goals based on what somebody else wants or what they think they should want or what they think they're supposed to do or what they think something is supposed to look like. And they're not really looking inwardly. They're not really looking at their own values and what's important to them. And so they end up with goals that aren't theirs. And then when you put together a strategy for that, then they never get to where they want to go because their goals weren't even where they wanted them to be. So I think values and what's important to you goes with your strategy. And that's what I focus people on, which is usually a little mind blowing for them. That's not what they expect.
Yeah, true. Let's get into the definitions. I did a little bit of research. Gosh, Ron actually prepped.
Nerd.
Yes, really. Okay, goals. It's the target and what? Or a SMART goal. SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, resilient, and time.
Very Think and Grow
Time
Rich.
efficiency. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that book.
Yeah. I've read it a few times.
A strategy is the method and why. Why do you need to get there? The overachieving approach or game plan to achieve goals.
Mm-hmm.
And then a plan, a concrete, detailed roadmap with specific needs. But then again, going deeper, they also have strategic plans.
Mm-hmm.
So between the three, you need to do all three, right? Just not build the strategy, but put the other two in.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, if you're just building out a strategy, you can't really build a strategy without a goal.
Correct.
You have to have a destination. You can't hit a target that doesn't exist.
Correct.
So you have to have a target, and then you need a strategy how you're going to do that. And you could stop there, and you'd be ahead of most people. But I mean, the strategy isn't the micro details. It's not the daily implementation. It's not the products or services. It's not the cable management, right?
Right.
So really, to be effective and getting where you want to go with the fewest wrong turns, since we're using GPS,
Agreed.
you've got to have all three pieces.
Now, within this, like I have to do it with my customers. Technology it's 80% planning, 20% implementation.
Yeah.
So when you have a plan and a strategy, you also have a contingency, or should have a contingency, so you're not starting from scratch. Like in my mind, when I start a project, I start from the worst case scenario. Why? so that during that, I can change the strategy on how to get and implement the plan
Mm-hmm.
to achieve the goal. And that way I'm not getting together and holding meetings for 2 hours and delaying what's going on. How do you handle that in finance?
Oh man.
Well,
Well,
let me go through something that you just the question you had me. I want to save money, but I can't save money. But I don't have any money in my bank account, so I don't have an emergency fund. So where do I start and what do I do? How do I get to my retirement goal of $1 million?
well, I think a lot of people think too big, and I'm a big thinker. I think thinking big is really important, but way too many people think, "Oh, well, I don't have X amount of dollars," and to some people, a lot of money might be $100. To some people, a lot of money might be $1,000,
Right.
and so mentally they're going, "Well, I can't afford to put back $100 a month, or I can't afford to put back $1,000 a month, so I just don't do anything." And I think the important thing for people to know is that you can start really small. It's you got to start somewhere, and it's easier to start with $25 a month
Right.
and increase it than it is to wait until you can do $100 a month. So I think that's one part of it, but it's all a mindset, and it's a lot of times it comes down to getting into the daily habits.
Mhm.
It gets into the micro of your daily and analyzing that and making micro changes that lead to bigger changes. And that's part of when I'm working with somebody, that's part of me discovering their values and putting together a strategy for them is really bringing it down to, you know, this is a basketball. John Wooden, this is a basketball, how he
Right.
started every practice. And I think for money, it's the same way. We bring it all the way down to the very, very basic. And then we start from there figuring out what the goals are, figuring out what the values are, and building the strategies from the very small upward.
And the same thing too, when you talk about values too, is you put this, we're putting it into business acumen and in a personal level for finance too,
Mhm.
right now. But don't you think the goals, strategies, and plans are also a part of life
Oh, yeah.
or an individual?
Yeah, I think I mean, I think some people just kinda go willy-nilly through life and, "Oh, whatever happens, happens," but, I which blows my mind. I can't even comprehend
No, I get
living
it.
that way. Um, but, I mean, really, we plan for everything. We plan for I got up and went to the mayor's prayer breakfast this morning. I had to plan last night, what I was gonna wear this morning, so I'm not, rustling in the closet at 5 a.m., turning all the lights on in the house, and I had to plan for what time I was gonna get up and based on how long it would take me to get ready and what time I needed to leave the house based on how long it would take me to get Tim to shoe, which is not very long. But, we have to have that for everything we do. It's just that some of it is unconscious. And so when it comes to money, the more we do it, the more we become unconscious competent, even in our savings and our investing and our financial goals.
Like in the same thing too is everybody needs to have an emergency fund. Okay, I believe the rule of thumb is 6 months of income.
Yeah, start with $1,000, and then once you have
Save it.
1,000, get to three months of income or 3 months of expenses, and then 6 months of expenses. And yeah, absolutely.
How do you deal with people who say, I can't even put money in my savings account? Do you really look deep at what their monthly spending is, like what they could do? I know your dad picks on me, and my monthly savings has gone nuts because I become a sneaker. I've become a sneaker freak. Okay, I've been getting like 2 pairs of sneakers every week,
Oh my
or now
goodness.
not a week, every month lately. And hopefully, my wife isn't going to see this, but it's
Somebody's
only
in
because they're
trouble.
comfortable. Exactly. I don't post it on Facebook anymore, but I'm doing it because I'm a collector. Okay, some
Mm.
I wear, some I won't. Some I will resell for a profit because my strategy when I started, I guess when I became a sneakerhead, was to say, this shoe just launched. I see resale side I can make, and there is a shoe that I just bought that went up $100 in 2 days.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to sit on that for about another couple weeks, never wear them, and put it up part of my investment because that's a fun investment.
That would be fun, I guess.
Okay, but I mean, how do you really work with? Do you go into what do you spend like? Do you eat at home all the time? Do you eat? How do you handle that when you're trying to tone somebody down to kind of change your lifestyle a little bit?
So I have some worksheets that I use for people, and one of them is a weekly accounting sheet. And whether you use the worksheet or you use a notebook, I talk to them about like, have you ever counted calories? Because if you're counting calories, you're counting the calories in a Hershey Kiss, right?
Right.
You have to take your notebook out or your app out or whatever it is, and you have to write down how many calories are in that one Hershey Kiss.
Hmm.
And so I talk to them about their money the same way. We're going to count pennies for at least a week. If they really want to do it big, do it for 2 weeks. And if they're really serious, do it for a month. And it's not to beat them up over what they're spending their money on.
True.
It's to highlight it. It's to shine a light on it so that they have some realizations. And I always throw my husband under the bus when I talk about it because used to when he was working in a more high paced, hot, very active environment every day, he was going through a lot of drinks. He was drinking body armors and energy drinks and 5 hour energies and Cokes and all this stuff. Well, if you buy all those things individually at a gas station, like he was doing at the time,
Right.
he would stop at the gas station on his way into work. He would pick up his drinks for the day. I mean, that's $20,
Right.
and so I was like, this is insane, right? Because those things are all like $3 a piece. And so I think when you start accounting and you go, man, that's expensive, you don't necessarily change what you buy, you change how you buy it.
Right.
So when Body Armor goes on sale at Kroger, 10 for 10, we buy 75 of them.
Right.
We buy energy drinks by the case. We go to UGO and buy them for 50 cents a piece instead of $3 a piece. He doesn't drink 5 hour energy anymore, but you buy the case of them, Kroger brand, and it makes them like 85 cents a piece instead of 250. And so it's things like that. And then other things like I drink way too much coffee to drink my coffee in a coffee shop. So,
Yeah.
because I probably drink a pot a day at
Okay.
least in the middle of summer, right? In the winter,
Yeah.
it may be 2 pots.
Got it.
That's a lot of $7 a piece coffees.
Right.
So I drink my coffee out in a coffee shop when I'm meeting with somebody.
Right.
Otherwise, we buy nice coffee. We have it at home. I drink my pot a day. And that's my thing, right? But for other people might go, you know what? I get one coffee on my way to work. It's $7. That's $7 a day, 5 days a week. And it's cheaper than bail money. It keeps my sanity. I don't kill anybody at work. Everybody's happy, right? And so some people look at that and they go, that $7 a day is absolutely worth it. I'm okay with spending that. Other people look at that sack full of drinks from a gas station and they go, wow, I didn't realize I was spending that money. Man, if I just bought it in a different way, it would save me money.
You just hit the nail on the head with me. Is I'd get up every morning, have breakfast. I only drink water at home, but yet I have protein shakes and I have powder mixes for energy drinks or pre-workout or whatever the case is.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff's sitting at the house. What do? I get up in the morning, do that. I stopped at the gas station. And I was looking, I'm going, every time I come, it's $9 a day. That's
Yeah.
$50 a week. That's $200 a month.
Yeah.
I stopped that. Now, because it's your dad loves picking on me with this, but because of that, I looked at $200 a month, I could go find a pair of shoes, a good pair of sneakers that are collectibles, and find them on sale and spend $100 to make $100 instead of spending money at the gas station where I have the stuff at home. So why don't I mix it? So
Right.
I have changed. Now this
Yeah.
morning, yes, I fell off the wagon, but
That happens.
I didn't have time because I had a good breakfast and that and didn't want to stay and mix it. But that hit home.
Well,
You evaluate it.
I mean, think about this. $200 a month for 35 years is $84,000.
Right.
At 12%,
Mhm.
$200 a month for 35 years grows to 1.3 million. So, I mean, how many people go out and blow $100 on the weekend? My gosh, you almost can't leave your house without blowing $100. I
Agreed.
took my 5-year-old, I took Red out,
Yeah.
and we had a mom and Rhett day. Well, by the time we ate lunch, that was probably, $25. We shared something. It was probably $20 or $25. We went to the arcade. So going to the arcade, that was $15 a piece. So now we're at about $50. And then we went and got, we went to tech council.
Yep.
And then after tech council, we ended our day by going to Dunkin' Donuts. Not Dunkin'. Oh my gosh. I was thinking about my last thing.
Which one?
Donut Country. We
Okay.
went to Donut Country, Memorial. They stay open
Yep.
late. So we went there. And by the time, and Derek met us there. So by the time we each had a donut and we each had a drink, we had probably spent $75, $80
Right.
just on having a fun day out doing stuff. And I mean, that's halfway almost to saving towards $1 million at
Right.
retirement. But, we don't think about, if we're not thinking about goals, if we're not thinking about strategies, if we're not thinking about what's really important to us, then we're not thinking about the fact that just $200 a month can make us a millionaire.
Yeah, agreed. And there's things that, not saying that you can't do those things, because that valuable time with your son for the day
Mm-hmm.
overweighs that $75 you spent. Okay?
Absolutely.
But it's not saying that when you're building a strategy financially, or you have a plan or a goal, and keep adjusting it based on where you're headed,
Mm-hmm.
is that find the wasteful times that you spend. I mean, I don't drink coffee, and I only drink it at home now. And on the weekend, I'll make 3 cups, and I drink that through the day, where I was like you, a pot a day. So now look at that, of what you're paying for that. And then I go out and buy coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those savings have helped me to where I have money in my pocket now just for that. I still have my investments that I was going on, but now I started looking at, I'm throwing away $200 a month. Now, yes,
Yeah.
I'm on a shoe stop right now. Okay. Because I looked at my budget and I blew it. But you got to evaluate.
Right. And sometimes we're just paying for convenience.
True.
I mean, just like stopping and getting drinks at a gas station, sometimes we're paying for convenience because we didn't plan ahead at all.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, if we just plan a little bit ahead, we don't really cost ourselves anything. Not really,
Mhm.
because we spend money on things that really aren't that important to us. What,
Agreed.
like when we go to the zoo, right? We go to the zoo, we'll pack snacks.
Mhm.
It's way cheaper to pack snacks than to pay huge prices for not that great of snacks there.
Agreed.
I mean, and we didn't lose anything. We
Right.
didn't lose the event. We didn't lose the time together. We didn't lose the experience. We lost nothing,
Right.
but we gained the ability to reach our future goals as well.
But even with the thing about going out to dinner, I very rarely go out to dinner. My wife and I very rarely go out to dinner. It's like, and we haven't been out for a while. Let's go. But take a look at what two adults. You're talking $100 for dinner.
Easily.
Well, for us, that's half a grocery bill for a week.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
So,
And I mean, and groceries are crazy expensive right now for most people.
Now you got to cut back on groceries or cut back on going out to eat so you can afford $4 or $5 a gallon for gas now. Okay. So I guess the whole thing is that when you're planning with your life, if you're building a strategy or you have a plan of how you want to grow your business, whether it's through technology, which is where I'm real good at, is helping businesses achieve the goal, build the plan, have the strategy in place of what's the process to get there. And even by making friends, I mean, even though we don't talk about it, but if you really want to fine tune it, you have a plan of meeting somebody. You have a plan or a strategy or a goal of getting to know that person better. So this isn't only for business or finance, but it's just regularly for life.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your business and getting to know people and stuff, when we were on Fourth Friday this past time, and you and I had already talked about doing this, and you
Right.
invited me to come on your show and do this podcast with you. You had said something, and I wish I remembered what it was, but I was like, man, that's why this conversation is going to be so good. And I think maybe you were talking about, when you wired the space and
Right.
the conversations y'all had. And I just remember thinking, man, that's why this conversation is going to be so good, because Ron really does put a strategy together. It's not just, oh, well, you have a podcast studio. Here's the products you need. Boom, 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 boom. Here's what you need. I'll come
Right.
install it for you. It was a lot more than that, right?
Yep. And as far as something that simple is, anybody can pull wiring. Can you terminate it right? Do you see it anywhere? Do you look at the decor of the place? Is that wire ruining the decor? No, it's got to be hidden. It's got to be routed the right way. It's got to be in the right place so you don't have cables running on the floor. It's a 20-minute it's a 15-20-minute conversation of options to get the sign off from the client. So yeah, even for something that simple. And I think another thing too is I am a planner. I build a strategy and everything, like you said. And I'll pick on you a little bit, but you said, I'll get you the question by what? That morning for what we're going to talk about? And I said, no. So there was a strategy of putting this together and a
Yeah.
plan of a conversation, not a
Yeah.
script. I hate
Right.
scripts.
Yeah. I'm a theater kid. I love scripts,
No,
but
I don't. I'd rather just free talk.
well, depends on the situation. But I mean, and you made that sound so simple, but realistically, in a space like this, I mean, we're talking about a probably 150, 125-year-old building
Yep.
with, exposed brick walls. And I mean, it couldn't have been that simple of a strategy.
Yeah. Well, when you do it a lot, it's a little bit easier what to look at, but then to try to understand the customer, this is what I want to do. Well, I want to do it this way. I want to do it that way because originally it was supposed to be over in another spot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, why? Okay. To back off. Where is the cameras going to be? Where is the podcast going to be from? Where's that equipment? What speeds do you need from Comcast?
Mm.
Is it more of an upload because it is a podcast, or are you downloading? These are all things that took into play. Now, a lot of this stuff I thought out in the back, the simple questions for Trent to make a decision. But even something that simple, I think, is a strategy.
Well, and every business is going to have a different strategy.
Always.
I mean, I had an experience yesterday, and now I have a referral for you. I need you to go see a certain business in town. But
Okay.
I was
Okay.
I was shopping, and I was trying to take a picture and send it to my husband and ask him what he thought about something, and I could not get any service in that building. And it's not the first time I've had that trouble. I've been in that building before and gone and stood outside the front door, stood by the windows, trying to get service inside of this metal building to be able to look something up on the internet or do whatever, send a message about a product, and they don't have Wi-Fi for their customers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I know you have other customers that are having this problem.
And the same thing with technology now. It's not just, oh, you need this, you need voice over IP, you need video, you need video conferencing, you do that, and here's a canned solution, go for it. Okay. Everything's come down to the customer experience. What is the customer experiencing when they call you? Are they getting to the right person? Are they getting the right information about you? Are they getting where your location is? You just talked about a customer experience of being inside of a building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your cell phones are not going to work in metal buildings because the towers are outside, and that metal building absorbs that frequency. That's right, that radio. But what are you losing? Because some people won't go somewhere if they can't have Wi-Fi.
Right.
Okay, but then again, you got to look at security. So that's another strategy, and small businesses don't look at that. But is there anything else that that you want to cover in reference to this, or to wrap up on your end?
Oh man. I think just the importance of knowing what's important to you when it comes to your money, because it's not about the dollar amount, it's not about the money itself. It's what money allows you to do. And for some people,
Agreed.
that's freedom of time. For some people, that's freedom to give, to be generous. Some people are just generous, and the more money they have, the more they can give away, and that's what's important to them. For some people, it's legacy for their family. But I think it's so important for people to know what their values are. Because anytime you build out a financial strategy or a budget or anything
Mhm.
based on something that's not your values, you're going to rebel spend just like that because you go, nobody can tell me what to do with my money, including me. So, I
Yes.
mean, you've got to know what's important to you and then build out a strategy that supports your values. And part of that is having a financial advisor, shameless plug,
Right.
that is going to support that because there's a lot of people in the financial industry, they're just product pushers. They're
Right.
like bad mechanics that are just parts replacers.
Yep.
They're just product pushers and they're not thinking about your values. They're thinking about who can I sell this product to because this product makes me the most money,
Right.
or who can I sell this product to because it's the only product I have to offer. You need somebody that has a lot of things to offer that can truly focus on the strategy and then apply the products and services like the detail part of the plan to that strategy.
It's got to come from here. Okay.
Mhm.
Is that what, if you don't achieve, I guess a good question would be is if you don't achieve your financial goals, that you're going to make $3,000 a month out of your retirement, what is that going to mean to you? I mean, that's a good question. I'm also studying to be a personal trainer. And when you're dealing with someone who's going to have objections of trying to work out and lose weight, is that, well, if you don't achieve this, what does it mean to you? You got to dig deep into the heart.
Mhm.
In finance, definitely. You dig deep into your heart in business because you want that great reputation when you're talking technology. But on your recap is look at if you're not going to achieve a financial goal of retirement of what you're going to do and how much money you have to live on
Mhm.
because inflation is going up, it's not going down. So
Absolutely.
so you have to say what's going to happen to you in your later years if you don't have that money to live
Just had a conversation the other day with a client who was maybe talking to a family member,
on. Mhm.
trying to get their family member or friend to get serious about their finances. And what do I say? They're not listening to any kind of logic. What do I say? And I was like, sometimes you just have to hit people with the truth. Like, hey, you're 45, 50 years old. If you don't take care of yourself, do you really want to put your children in a position in the future where they have to choose between their food budget for your grandchildren or helping you pay your rent
Agreed.
or helping you buy your food? Do
Agreed.
you really want to make your grandchildren share a room because you can't afford to live and now you have to move in with your kids who really don't have room for you? So now all your grandchildren are sharing a room because you've got to move in because you were more concerned about buying designer clothes right now
Right.
than you were about your future. And I went, oh wow, that's so true. That's
It
really
is.
where they're headed. But they're not thinking like that.
Right.
And sometimes you just gotta really think about the truth. Like, and I know in fitness, it's the same way. Like
Same way.
the reality is like your back's only going to get worse, your hips are only going to get worse, your feet are only going to swell more. Like if you don't take care of your health,
Right.
these problems are only going to get worse, and then your mobility is going to get worse, and then it's not about looks, it's about now you can't play with your grandkids the way you
I
want
was just
to.
going to say that now
Yeah.
the holidays and when the grandkids are over, you're the one sitting on the chair, bending over and saying, "Oh, you just hurt my knee," or
It's
like you can't bend over and pick them up. So
yeah.
that's another goal.
It's like
Okay.
it's like that
And fitness.
commercial. Did you see the Christmas commercial where the grandpa, he was picking up the kettlebell and doing like this with the kettlebell,
Yep.
and nobody like you really understand why. It was just the kettlebell. And then at Christmas, he picks his granddaughter up and she puts the star on the tree
Yep.
and it just clicks.
Yeah, it does. So I mean, in anything. So whether it's fitness, whether it's money, whether it's life choices, meeting other people, plans, strategies, and goals are all the same. Is a good wrap up. Well, if there's anything, I'll let you give yourself another plug. But if you want to help build a strategy and set a goal for your financial future, get a hold of Jessica at
Uh, The Jessica Bryan is all my socials. Just the Jessica Bryan, any social media. That's where I'm at. The Jessica Bryan at Gmail. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find.
Phone number?
The Jessica Bryan,
Want to give-
615-351-8549.
Okay, and if you want to know more about what Eagle Communications can do for your business, you can see our other podcast where we also do, as we get back to the community, at Eagle Communications TN on YouTube, our website, eaglecommunications.net, and phone number 615-278-9896. Talk to you soon, and thank you for viewing.